Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 43 of Sir Kevin Says. Today we have Tim Stewart in the house. Artist, producer, guitarist, and arranger? Or what you got going on, man?
Musician, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Welcome, bro.
Hey, man.
It's been a long time, man, since we've seen each other. I think it was, more than 5 years ago?
At least.
At least, man. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Of course, man.
How's everything going for you?
Great, man. Still just making music, playing, doing a lot of different things TV-wise.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you have going on for TV?
Yeah, man. Pretty much, I've been in the house band with American Idol for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
And also I've been doing the last few seasons of Masked Singer. And I'm just part of one of the production teams. My friend Natural and Miguel, they run all the music.
Okay.
And they have a group of producers, and it's awesome, man.
That's amazing, fun, man. Let's talk about your upbringing, man. Like, you grew up in the church, for the most part.
I did. Really?
How did that go, man? How did you get into the music industry?
Church for me, from the time I was little, my grandfather, my uncle, my cousin, my dad was in a traveling quartet music.
Okay.
And but yeah, I was just surrounded by church, morning, noon, and night, So I would say at least 3 to 4 times a week,
Wow.
Youth group, we had to show up at choir practice, and then, 2 services on Sunday, and then whatever they had going Saturday,
Yeah.
Up to the time I think I started playing around 11 or 12.
Okay.
And started playing in church around 13, somewhere around there. And yeah, I just played a lot. You know, my dad played, my uncle played, like I said, my cousin played, everybody played and sang. And around the time I was 17 or 18, I started, kind of running the music for the youth group, how they do. And then a couple years later, music minister for the rest of the church. And, it's I'm thankful for the upbringing. You learn a lot of things from it. I have a kind of a different thoughts on all of it,
Sure.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of coming to the point where I don't see any negative in it, like I did for a while.
Yeah.
I think it was really good.
Yeah. When did you know you wanted to be like a pro musician?
I was surrounded by so much music growing up. I grew up in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And my sister is older than me, and she was super into heavy music.
Yeah.
Very cool. Like, at the time in the Bay, thrash music, and that was really, really happening up there. So I was young and really seeing that, and I was just into so many different things, but I think maybe around 13, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Yeah,
that's pretty.
So kind of right at the jump of it,
Sure.
I started playing, and I just kind of realized, man, this is definitely,
what you want to do.
Yeah, there's nothing else really.
Yeah, no alternative.
Yeah, and I was really skating a lot and playing basketball, doing all kinds of things that kids do, and I put a halt to almost all of it.
Wow.
I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna
focus on that.
Yeah.
What was your practice schedule like?
Then I think it was just all the time. I would just play all day long. Just lock myself in my room and play. And then when I got to around 16, 17, 18, I remember having a conversation with my dad. He was like, okay, you got a couple options. Get a job, go to school, which I ended up going to school. But if you want to play music, it's basically not a free pass to just go, just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you're going to get in your room and work 8 hours a day. You're going to get in there and practice and learn or train like you would train to be anything.
Right.
You're going to go do it, So it takes a lot of self-discipline, but he really opened my eyes to that, and I've kind of just, put that to practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Were you taking any lessons or anything like that? Like, did you go into some type of mentorship or?
I had lessons with a friend, Brooks, a friend of my cousin's.
Okay.
When I would say around that time, 13, 14, 15.
Mm.
And then I went to school for classical guitar and jazz up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Cal State Hayward. And I did that for a couple years. And that's pretty much the schooling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just playing. I got to play with a lot of different people up there, and just being a sponge. Still, I think it's a
never-ending journey.
Yeah. I think I'm a constant student.
For sure. And when did you make the move from the Bay to LA?
2000.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've been here 21 years. That's crazy, man. Yeah. I had joined this band called Fourth Avenue Jones.
Okay.
At the time, we had to deal with Interscope.
Man.
And we, I talked to a good friend, Ahmad, and he was like, man, if you want to do it, let's do it. So I just got in my car,
Wow.
you know, and, my wife at the time, we got in the car and just shot down here, you know.
Yeah.
Just kind of with nothing, you know. And, I think about it now. I'm like, wow, that was crazy.
Well, what was the instance that you felt catapulted your career? Like, okay, now I'm really in the industry. I'm connecting with these people.
Moving here, man.
Okay.
I think moving here was huge for me. I was playing a lot in the Bay. I was doing a lot of things, and I could see the path that was going to happen for me in the Bay Area. You know, it was, and at that point, I still was pretty engulfed in Christianity. You know, and thinking that was going to be something that kind of drove my career in my life. You know? But then I had this weird conversation with my grandfather, who's real deal pastor, man. Like orphanages, you know,
missionary work.
Yeah, does like the real deal.
Yeah.
You know, no, not for glitz or glamour or fame or books to sell, you know, all that stuff. Like just hard work, you know, service. And he was just like, man, you know, because I was on my way thinking I'm gonna be a pastor and a music,
the
guy, you know, the worship guy, whatever. And he's just like, man, it's not for you. Basically, in so many words, like, man, run from this, man, because you don't want this. Because I think his view of it is like it's this complete service, and you know, you if you can do, you don't want this. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in a little while after, I got to call to come down and audition for 4th Ave, and you know, meet the guys, and that really was an eye-opening experience being around Ahmad and. Just getting to LA, kind of get my feet wet. And then from there, I started doing more and more things on the professional side, not in the band sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which kind of just happened. I don't know.
Talk to us a little bit about the professional side and like the differences between the two, I guess, like what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I guess they're both professional. I mean, more of the sideman side, probably.
Sure.
With the band thing, we were, you know, obviously we're on Interscope, we're getting momentum and doing a lot of opening acts and doing a lot of things, but there's not a lot of money in that, you know. There's not a lot of ways to provide for yourself beyond like whatever, you know, advances or whatever things happen. But a lot of that has to be spent, and it's not, you owe it still. You know what I mean? It's like it's a weird game. So just to live, you know, I was realizing, okay, I have to still play for people, you know. I have to find ways to work. Had to make myself better.
Yeah.
So I kind of just dove into the I don't know what it was, man. It was just going and playing these little like jam sessions and like, you know, little gigs, saying yes to literally everything.
Yeah.
And I eventually got a call to do, and I was doing a lot of gospel stuff at the time.
Okay.
I'd done a Tone record and a bunch of just different ones throughout the gospel scene.
Yeah. I mean, you did one with Marvin Sapp, right?
I did Thirsty, yeah. But I remember in like 2002 or 3, I got a call to go audition for Jessica Simpson. And in that, I met a lot of really, man, amazing people. Guy Herman Jackson, he was the MD.
Yeah.
I met my best friend, Monty Newell. I met Gordon Campbell.
Man.
My friend Dean Pleasance, who played with Suicidal and Infectious. I ended up being longtime friends with all of them and ended up playing with them. And I'm like, it just was that one thing kind of steered me in the direction, okay, well, I'm going to start doing a lot of sideman things, you know, and I really enjoy it. I thought it was like something new for me, you know?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I definitely did that, but didn't understand what it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was always thinking, man, I'm just gonna be in a band, like it would. You know? But it was really interesting, man. How good you have to be, and the caliber of everybody around you. You know, you're like, wow, everybody's really good.
It pushes you, right?
Yeah. Oh man, it's challenging. I still, man, anything I go, any job, any gig, any time I get to play with people, I'm always, I push to be better, man. I'm always like feeling a little like, oh crap. You know, that insecurity thing is real. I'm like, oh, but it's also like oh man, I have a chance to improve.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then from there, I just got options to play with a lot of, opportunities to play with a lot of different people. And it's all been amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like, no complaints at all.
What's your approach to the gigs that you get? Let's say there's a new call for a new artist, whatever. Do you approach every gig the same way, or do you just kind of take it by whatever artist you're playing for? And by that, I mean the different styles that you might be required to play. One might be jazz, for example, might be pop, rock. How's your approach like?
I definitely approach it all. I think the similarity would be just like the seriousness of, like I'm definitely going to learn, do my research and play and really try to play it as close to that style or that reference point as I can, man, because I think, and generally I like everything. Like most people nowadays that I assume most people like everything now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So if it's like a punk rock thing, I grew up listening to punk rock, so I can really dive into that and know what things within that realm work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's jazz, man, I love jazz, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm going to approach it
authentically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it, I think all of those things are important, man. But it's really kind of doing your homework, knowing, not even homework, it's just kind of just, I don't know, like really just loving it. You know what I mean? I think that is the next, because I think doing homework and all those things are great, but it's man, I love this type of music, so I'm gonna really play it
right, the best that you can,
because I love it.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And that's even with pop stuff. Like some of the pop stuff, now I'm like, man, I love that song. It might not be my favorite artist, but I'm like, man, whoever wrote this, and the way that they arrange it, oh my gosh, it's amazing. You know what I mean? So it's just really loving it, and then whatever you playing, translating, and if it's a big or small part, being okay with all of it. You know what I mean?
What's the craziest gig would you say that's challenged you the most?
Oh man. I don't know. I think they all challenge me, man. I know that's a terrible answer, but it's true. I think they all challenge me in like a different way. I don't know. I think the Gaga one was kind of like more your performance and kind of like knowing your role and playing your thing, and that's a challenge in itself. Musically, I've gotten a chance to sit with some really like unreal people in like more of a free way.
Right.
I played with Chris Dave and Miguel before, and that's challenging in a whole nother way.
Right.
But I think they all kind of present their own challenges, because to be able to like really sit and be yourself and play in a realm that's kind of already created is really pretty tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a video I've seen of you, man. You guys were, I think, in Paris, and you guys were doing "Fallen in Love."
Yeah. We just did I only did like a couple weeks with those guys, and it was like real, man.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
It's
man.
amazing, man. It's a different world, because I had never heard somebody implement. I mean, you're playing one thing, like consistently. Right, like a riff or whatever, and then Chris is going into like a.
Oh yeah, that's all Chris, man. Like,
bro,
he's crazy.
That's insane, man.
That guy's a nut, man. He's like really, to be around a guy like that, and Pino, man, like those type of guys are like, like you see why they are so. I mean, they're just really like amazing. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You know? So it just makes it like. I definitely was inspired that whole time, man. You know what I mean? For sure.
You've been with Lady Gaga since what year? 2011?
2011, yeah.
How was that opportunity brought to you?
That was great, man. A friend of mine, Joe Flip Wilson, he's like genius musician, man. We had met years prior. I used to work for Rodney Jerkins.
Okay.
I did like sessions with him for a long time, and we were at his mom's church in Jersey.
Okay.
And so that's the day that I met Chris, Dave, and Flip. And John on bass. And yeah, so some years later, Joe calls me and is like, hey man, would you be into coming down and, doing this for a while? I guess the prior guitar player just left. So yeah, let's come check it out, man. So I went down, played a little bit, videoed it, showed it to her, and since then I've been
doing that.
With her. Yeah. It's been a great experience, man. It's she's definitely a one of a kind artist for sure. And it's weird because I think everybody else I play for, they have like a lane for sure, and I just feel like she's like just
so versatile.
Continues to do like touch so many different genres and people and man, the people that you would think hate music would be like, man, but I like her. You know what I mean? Like it's that weird dynamic. And then people who are hardcore, like in the heavy stuff, be like, oh, I love her too. It's like, man, it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, but she's really incredible. I don't think that comes around very often. You know? I don't know if it does ever.
Yeah.
You know, because she's really like an incredible musician, incredible songwriter, incredibly famous, obviously. Actress. I mean, everything, you know, like everybody says. I mean, it's pretty crazy, you know. It's bananas to really think about and to see it in action it's been awesome. You know, I've had a really good experience there. All the group of people I'm around, you know, they're all family. I mean, my wife. That's how I met my wife. You know, so it's that whole experience has really changed my life. Yeah, and it's been great, man. Yeah. BandKnives, I mean, that we all kind of met through that. Yeah, and kind of formed together after that. Okay, got it. And yeah, man, it's great. I'm definitely thankful, you know. Yeah, and it's really changed my mind about a lot of different things musically and yeah.
Can you talk about your experience with touring? Those that might be trying to get into that realm of like working. I know right now is not much of that's going on, you know, but your experience in touring and the way you have to divide your time between your family, because you still have your kids and all these things. How do you go about doing that?
Man, you just kind of do it, you know. You get an opportunity to tour and play. I remember I forgot where I was, but I had done like a slew of tours in a row. So I was pretty tired. I heard tell my dad, he was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is what you like signed up for. What like step back and think about that. And I started laughing. I was like, yeah, it's true. I mean, if you get the opportunity to tour and play music and see the world and be in front of people and really be around, especially at this level, man, to tour with Gaga, man, that's crazy. Yeah. That's really when you see how incredible an artist like she is. You know, you're like, wow. Or you be Rihanna or whoever, man. Or if it's smaller rooms, I don't know, man. The opportunity to travel and play is really it's something that's different. You know?
I've heard a lot of people reference the touring world and just being out all the time to kind of it being a fantasy for most people.
Yeah, it can be, man. I think it's. Yeah, I mean, it's still work. It's still like. Not easy. It's definitely not easy on relationships. Right. Not easy on kids for sure, man. You know, and that's been a hard part for me, definitely. And when you're out, you do just lose all track of time because you're doing the same thing every day. You're playing like, and you're making these relationships that are kind of built on this thing that is going away. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's definitely weird, man. I think people cope with it differently, and you know, I've kind of at this point just I'm thankful that I get to do it. If we get to do it again, great. If I don't again, great. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's I don't know. It's good and bad to everything. You know what I mean? You're gonna have problems if you go work at this one place for the rest of your life. You're gonna have difficult times with your kids, with your wife, with your sister and brother, and your friends. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. Everything is hard, you know? Yeah. But touring is just, it's a very natural thing if you're a musician. Yeah. You know what I mean? The playing part of it, you know? Right. But right. I don't know. I always said, I remember, I was always saying like, there's going to be some point where I stop touring, where I stop playing live. But I mean, I think at this point, man, I'm going to play. Yeah. I'm going to record. I'm going to write. I think being a musician now, you just kind of do all of it. And enjoy all of it, you know. You don't have to stay. Like I'm not gonna stay away for 2 years in a row, probably anymore. You know what I mean?
But, you mean like world tours and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, or I may. You know, who knows? Yeah. You know, really. I think it's just all dependent upon the situation and where I'm at in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, there's some real trippy things to touring, man. I'm fortunate that I had the opportunity to do it at a time when I have FaceTime, you know, Skype, I could call, you know, had cell phones, you know. I think about the guys in the 80s, 70s, 60s, they're really doing it, man. They're just gone. Yeah. You know, they're gone for, you know what I mean? Right. That's hard, man. And I think those things really kept me connected and the ability to fly home, you know, on a you know, got a couple days, I'm gonna go come back, you know. So yeah, I know it's not easy on everybody, but you know, what can you do, man?
Yeah.
That's, you know,
it's part of the world.
Yeah.
Music industry.
Yeah.
Can you list any memorable moments in your career that you were like, man, I'm doing this, like, or playing with some of your heroes or anything like that?
Oh yeah, man. I think all the time. I think, you know, obviously some of the bigger shows, you know, everyone references like the Super Bowl or like, you know, Coachella or playing like, you know, Rock in Rio. Those type of big moments are like kind of like hard to process because they're just like huge. But I think the overall is like, I kind of have both. I don't know why. I have like this thing of like, man, okay, I'm really doing it. And at the same time, like, man, this is very hard. And I'm like struggling with the idea of being a musician still. You know what I mean? Like it's a real tug of war there, man. Like, and I think I've realized that there's no, even people I admire, I'm like, okay, well, there's no real goal, like gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, there's no real like aha moment, like, thank God I just, you know, sacrificed my life for this one moment. I don't think that exists. I think it's just the totality of it all. And you play music, you love music, you get to do it. And that's kind of the gift.
Yeah.
It's not any of those moments, because the other ones are just like the other like kind of insecurities and those things of like, man, I don't know if I can make it in music, are still there, man.
Wow.
Even when I'm done those, man, I'm still have those struggles, man. That's never going away either.
Yeah.
So I think it's really being able to balance the two and say, man, I'm here just for music. I'm here because I get to play. There's obviously something that resonated with me with guitar and things, and that's something I should be doing, whether I'm playing for 100,000 or nobody. It's just that has to be the core of it. You know what I mean?
Of course. I remember seeing you, man, many years ago when Mambo's Cafe was still having.
Oh yeah, man, I love Mambo's
entertainment,
man.
Bro. You would bring in these small little.
I did that to make my friend Brian mad. Honestly, he'd be like, "Dude,
bro, that was amazing.
Why don't you take this seriously?"
How big was that little amp?
Bro, it was like little. That thing was cranked though. It only distorted because you just turned it up so loud. It was like playing Michael Jackson songs fully like distorted.
Yeah, man.
That was fun, man. Like those times were fun, man. I definitely missed that.
Yeah.
I think I miss those type of things a lot, you know? Yeah. That's I don't know. It's kind of irreplaceable. Or hearing like a new song, like you make a song and you hear it back and you're like, oh wow, that feeling, I think that's always amazing. You know what I mean? And it's never kind of gets old.
Yeah.
Every time I can listen to it, you know, you make a track or a song or something, I can listen to it like 100 times and drive everybody around me crazy. But I'm just like excited to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
I think that's the gift. Whether people like it, don't like it, whether it does anything, that's
good, man.
You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And that keeps you, I think.
Yeah, leveled and everything.
Yeah.
What would you say are some qualities that musicians need to have, man, in order to make it in the industry?
It's weird because I think that is ever changing for me. You know what I mean? Like my idea of that. I think it's obviously you got to really love it, because the down times and the hard times are kind of unescapable, unavoidable. You know what I mean? So you really have to love it. You got to be persistent. And I think, I don't know. I think those two are kind of the core qualities of a musician. I was laughing, like talking to somebody. We're talking about how, you know, things change with COVID, and I'm like, man, you know, what's weird is I've been through so many different areas in my life as a musician that, man, I think I've almost built for it in a way. You know what I mean? Like, all my tours last year are canceled.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's already happened to me a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've had to like come home from a tour and have no work for 6 months and just, oh my God, figure it out, you know? And so like that, I'm like, oh, I've kind of already gone through that multiple times, you know? And I've never derailed or changed.
Right.
Just continue to get better, make more music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you have to have that as a musician. Like, if you really want to do it, just do it. Like,
Have that determination.
Yeah. And be okay with it. And because I tell all these things to my daughter, man. She's 17, killer, and she's like very focused and knows exactly who she is, which a lot of artists don't. She knows what she likes, knows who she is, and she's gonna do it. And I was just telling her, like, man, all you gotta be is determined, persistent, and know that those tough times are coming, and just just deal with it. Be okay with it in a way. You know what I mean? Don't let it deter you so much that you're like, oh man, I don't know if I should be doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be like, okay, it's another little tough, rough spot.
Right.
Let's keep pushing, keep making music, and then
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, I'm sure she's seen the difficult times that you've gone through, man. So it's probably inspired her to stay determined and stay on track and be like, you know what, if my dad did it and he's played for these amount of artists, why can't I?
Yeah,
you
know
what I mean?
I think that's, man, and it kind of goes back to the thing of like, man, really the ability to play is the gift, man.
Yeah.
That's really it. That is there's nothing else. And that keeps you from chasing like, well, I should be, at this point in my life, I should be doing what this guy's doing at this point, or I should be having what this guy had. Nah.
Yeah.
It's you, man. You know what I mean? Just play.
Talk about the danger of comparing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's part of it. I think that's why I've I mean, and it's such a big part of human nature, man. I mean, everybody falls into it, especially Instagram or, all the things, I still deal with that heavily, but like my gift and my thing and my love for music is mine. It's me, you know what I mean? And it's timetable and whatever comes of it, that's it. It has nothing to do with this guy or her or whoever, you know what I'm saying? It's just me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the music is the reward,
Right.
But if you are constantly chasing, like, man, I need to be as good as him, or I need to be as successful as him, or like, man, that is just that's a rough road, man.
Yeah.
And I, there's balance in it. Like, it's definitely have to find inspiration in other players and be like, man, I'm gonna be good as him, because I'm still competitive, man. I am, I grew up with all the competitive type musicians, and I still feel that way. Like, I see a guy play, oh man. It doesn't make me want to quit. It makes me want to be better than him,
Yeah.
But I think there's a balance in it, because it can make you feel like, I don't know, especially out here, man, there's been times in my life where I felt like, okay, I'm never going to get to that point. Like, I'm never, should I even continue? Should I even keep going?
Man.
It's because I'm comparing myself so heavily to these guys.
Right.
But I don't know their experience. I don't know what their gift was and how, they were able to hone their craft and, like, you know what I mean? Like, and what challenges they have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Music is weird because it's basically me, what I take that's very private and alone and very pure to me, and just try to share it.
Man.
And it just is, it's a real kind of like a mind game.
Because,
you're gonna have these weird insecurities. You're gonna have this weird, like, do you accept me or you don't accept? It's that whole thing. And I don't know. Music just heightens it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can spiral, but I think just learn how to balance it and know how to just find some kind of just really balance, man. That's really what it is. You know?
Has there been an instance where you said no to a gig or 2 gigs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and most of those timing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it's always been just my availability. And if I like it or not.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, that's kind of been a thing lately. Do I want to do this? But yeah, most of it's just availability. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
I think there are some things. I don't know if I'll. I don't know. I don't know. I've for years have said I don't know if I'll go back and do anything that would make me kind of not be myself 100%. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I would go do like church stuff anymore.
Got you.
But then I'm coming back to where I might. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first time, like this year is the first time in like probably 10 years that I'm like, wow, okay, maybe I'll think about doing that, because I think before I just had such a weird jaded thing with it.
Right.
Now I'm like, okay, maybe.
Were you a PK by any chance?
My grandfather, my uncle,
Yeah, okay.
I just grew up like
heavily
surrounded.
Yeah.
No, all those experiences were amazing. They were all great, but I think it kind of suffocated me a little bit, and I didn't know how to process it at the time. So I just was like,
out.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of great things in there. And musically, there's a lot of great people, and
right,
some incredible artists, man.
Yeah. I think I was telling Chris is that like 90% of pop drummers that enter into the pop field come from church. Many,
Yeah. I think church is amazing for music in general, man. You look at all this pedal board stuff. It's all these like church dudes. I go online and I'm looking. That's where all my envy comes from. I'm like, how did your pedal board look like that?
Yeah.
But it's like this dude at a church, like wherever. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I think it's great. It's a great place. It's some place you can go play every week. You can be really like challenged and I mean, it's the quality of it is quite a bit different than when I was growing up. Now it's just like, it's like the difference between playing that show and playing a show in an arena is the same. You know what I mean? Like they're like the production quality is crazy, the sound,
right?
The songs that you have to learn and the amount of time you gotta learn them. I mean, it's the real deal, and it's definitely church is a real thing, man.
When you have to learn material or music, like has it been where it's, let's say, like, hey, learn X amount of songs by tomorrow? Do you typically get a time frame, or is it like?
Oh, it all depends, I think with Idol, that's the one that's crazy, man. It's just a lot of songs.
And you're reading on Idol, right?
Yeah, poorly. If anybody saw that, they'd be like, yeah, it's true. He's terrible at reading. Oh, it's true, man. That's hard, man. The last thing we did was Hollywood Week, and it was like, I want to say it was like 80 songs or something. I don't know. I might be exaggerating. It was 60 or 70. I can't remember.
But still,
dude, like, and country, rock, pop, folk, like just across the board, So I'm just like, oh my gosh, and those type of things. I'm like, man, I'm totally challenged. I'm like defeated and challenged at the same time. So I'm like, man, this is awesome. It's a great feeling,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a couple. I learned the Backstreet Boys tour on a plane because their guy had left. So my friend Brian, he called me. He's like, man, you want to do this? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm sending the music now. I'm like, oh crap. I just got on the plane, showed up. And then,
How many songs was that?
That was like a 2-hour set. And I didn't really play it that well for a couple shows for sure. There's a couple shows that were not stellar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it was fun. That was a fun experience too. But yeah, I've had a couple where you have to learn them on the spot or you have to learn them really quick. And I think learning them is not the hard part. It's kind of retaining for me,
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can learn pretty fast. But then as fast as I learn it, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
Well, how do you work on retention then? What are some things you do?
I don't, man. Oh, man. I'm saying it's probably like the amount of drinking I've done in my life that's affecting my retention. That's what I'm thinking. No, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a funny one for me because my friend Ricky, I always tell this story, but from Gaga, he's like, dude, he can play you stuff he learned when he was a kid.
Wow.
Or he can play you like full size of records and play pretty much the dead on. I'm like, man,
how do you remember that?
How do you remember? How do you remember that? And there's a lot of guys like that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just the ones that is definitely not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might be in the smaller percentage. I just don't. I don't really retain, man. I guess I retain the important things. And once we're playing something, I can, okay, that's that part.
Right.
But like for me, just sit down and play it, like, oh man. Play that for me again?
Yeah.
That's usually my line.
Do you make like?
Can you tell me what that is?
Do you make notes for yourself like during the shows? Like if you try to remember,
if they're charts, you got to make the notes, man. Because especially like Idol's really the only one of the ones that I'm doing charts on at this point, or reading charts, and just because they move so fast and they change arrangements so fast, and they're like, and they're pretty like important changes. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're taking out these 4 bars. Let's go. Like, where? You know what I mean? But it's fun. That's a fun one, man. Those guys are killers, bro.
Yeah.
Chris Pooley is the music director.
Okay.
Killer, man. Dude, like just beast, dude.
Yeah.
And Greg Saran plays the guitar. He's playing all the important guitar parts. I'm basically just like,
rhythm.
bro, help me. I'm drowning.
Yeah.
Joe on the bass, Peter on the keys, man, RJ on the drums. Yeah.
Nice.
All of the band is just stellar, man. It's really fun, honestly. It's like a I always say it's like a master class, you know. You know, just kind of stand and like try to hang pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
It's good though. I enjoy it, man. Honestly. That's a fun one. And we only gonna do it a couple months a year. So it's good. So it's not like to do it for like a year straight. I think I would burn out. Like, oh man.
And are you doing it daily, or is it like a couple days out of the week and then you're off for a couple days?
It's pretty much a couple days after the week. Once it really like gets going, there's like a couple tiers of it. Like we do like a show or two, and then like wait a little while, do another one, and then the season where you do like multiple, like pretty much every week. Which is coming up pretty soon. Wow. We start doing that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your approach to studio recording, man, I know it's a different world than playing live. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For sure, man. I think that's a constant learning experience too, man. Really, because I would say 80% of the time I'm recording myself at this point. You know, before I was doing a lot more sessions just going, but now I've kind of like, unless you really want me to go and you're really gonna like make me go, like please send me this stuff and let me like do it. You know, so you know it's just I enjoy that. I enjoy that as much as live because I think you get to really be creative and figure out where you want everything to sit. You know, you're working with the sonic things, EQ and compression and all those type of things, as well as, you know, how you want to record, how you want it to, you know, it's a little bit more painting, you know what I mean? It's fun. I really like it, man. Yeah. And some of the things, like if I'm approach it differently, if I'm tracking just guitar for somebody, then that's a totally different thing than if I'm like writing or you know, creating something for myself. It's kind of two different worlds for me in a way, you know. But yeah, I like it.
Playing with Click, man, I'd give the example with Chris Dave, where, you know, neo soul, hip hop, all these things where the beat is behind a little bit. Yeah. There's other instances where you're on top of the beat, and then there's other instances where you're ahead of the beat.
For sure.
Talk about the differences between the three and then how you approach that.
Yeah, I think it's just all those are all feel things. I think I'm generally like a little bit behind most of the time. It's kind of how I just breathe, I think, in a way, you know. But I work with Click all the time. That is how you record, right? You know, so you know, it just depends on the music. Like if the feel of that song needs me to be on top of the click, right? Just then, which is generally the case. You know what I mean? But if there's things that need you to feel more relaxed, and I think it's just per song, you know, and being able to do it is the big part. Yeah. And just knowing where it sits and how it feels. Because I think that some of the things that I've really kind of focused on in my playing is feel, you know. That's one of the things that I really spend a lot of time like looking at. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know how to practice it other than just playing songs, you know. Like if I hear something, I'll play with it and be like, oh man, what makes this amazing is not the notes he's playing, it's how he's playing them. It's the feel of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's generally the case with everything, you know. I don't think it's, you know, obviously play things clean and play things precise, and you want to do that, obviously, but also make it feel right. Yeah. You know, make it feel like you're breathing and you're in the moment of it. Definitely. You know what I mean? So I think that's something I tend to focus on a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And playing with Click is essential, you know what I mean? Sometimes I play with it though, and I'm like, man, was the click on? Because I'm nowhere near that thing. You know what I mean? It's trippy, dude. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. You know, I guess for some people, I think for drummers or different musicians, they're like able to just. I think for me, it's something I still work on quite a bit. Yeah, definitely. You know? Yeah, because it's like hearing it, but then it's like getting this to be right there with that. Exactly. And placing yourself right where you want in relation to that clip. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the thing.
That's good, man. Yeah. Your tone, man, how did you develop that?
So many influences, man, through the years. I mean, like quarterly, I guess that you go back to chord melody, it's, you know, obviously guys like Joe Pass, Tuck Andrus, Lenny Brow, but then you got like Spanky Offord and Jubu, and you know, there's just like a slew of of amazing guitar players.
Yeah.
It's hard to name them all, obviously. And tone wise, it's man, that's a forever thing as well, like forever chasing, you know. Of course, you have some of my favorite tones like Angus, of course, Eddie Van Halen and Jeff Beck, and man, it's
quite
like
a few, right?
yeah, it's like an endless list, really.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I just know. I think every time I listen to something, I'm kind of like inspired and like, oh wow, how they get that sound? You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of Tom Petty records, man. I'm like, man, how did Mike Campbell get that sound, bro? Like, how did he? You know, it's a lot of trial and error, and you know, and it comes from feel too, man. I think playing something, hearing it, and being like, okay, man, that sounds exactly like I want it to sound, but how's it sound in the band? How's it sound in relation to everything that's happening?
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it too, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm constantly looking at improving, and, you know, especially now, there's so many people, man. Like I say, you go on Instagram, you're just like, wow. Like, basically, my practice regimen now is practice, go on YouTube, and just be like, wow.
YouTube Academy.
Yeah, for an hour. I don't ever play. I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Next guy, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And then I just put the guitar down.
Yeah. Do you still get time to practice?
Not really, man. You know, I play more than anything. Like, I don't know if that's described as practice, you know. I guess it is, you know. I think now it's just, I kind of look at it as a, like cooking in a way. Like, okay, like I gotta work, or doing anything, you know. I work, I play, do what I'm supposed to do. And then if I'm just playing, I'm usually just playing to songs that I like, you know. I don't know if that's really, I think that's the stage of life I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll go back to maybe like purely practicing things maybe at some point. But right now it's just, if I'm playing music. I'm playing for work, or, you know, work, whatever it is.
Right.
Or I'm playing for like just songs. Like if there's a song I like, man, I'll just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really, because I think that is the things that I find that I love. The players that I love, I think that's the thing that has attracted me to them, is their musicality. And I don't really envision them like running scales. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm listening to Jimi Hendrix, at some point he was, obviously, but I'm like, man, it's really his feel, and it's his like touch and his tone. You know what I mean? And you only get those things from just playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you get them personally, like your personal sound, your personal thing from just playing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how else to get it.
No, that's good.
I mean?
Yeah. How about your relationships with your endorsement companies, man? I know so many people, first thing when they start getting into the music industry, they want free stuff, free gear, you know, all that stuff, man. Yeah. Like, talk about the importance of the endorsements, and then what you have to do as an artist representing them.
Yeah. For me, man, I've definitely gone through those stages. You know what I mean? Because you feel like, you know, I'm about to do this tour, bro. Send me everything. You know what I mean? They're like, who are you? But yeah, no, I think now, man, for me, it's just relationship based. You know, I play Schecter's. My friend Adam is the A&R there, and I'm like, man, we're like legitimate friends. Like we best friend, man. We go drink. We have like, we know each other's, you know, lives. So I think that's important, man. I think it's important to have a friendship with whoever you're involved in,
right,
in this business. You know what I mean? So, and I like what they do. I like, you know, I like their stuff, and I like him. I think he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I think that is an easy one for me. You know, and there's a few others that I endorse, a bunch of pedal companies, and it's all the same thing. You know, like, man, or, you know, Vertex, man. I like Mason's a killer guy, man, and he makes amazing stuff. You know, Beatronics, killer guys that make amazing stuff. But, you know, I think all of it is like just like the relationship part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
I think right now, anything you make right now, it seems to me to be, is going to be pretty amazing. It's not like anybody's making crappy stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
Not to be like, it matters that you're playing the best stuff. It does. It matters that you have the best and like the greatest things that you want to have. That's all important, you know. But I think the endorsements are weird if you have no relationship with the people involved.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the part for me. Because Because then and at the same time, I play whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to. Man, I play whatever I want, dude. You know what I mean? You can have all this stuff back. You know what I mean? Because I think that's how I feel about it. You know?
True.
So that's kind of how I approach it now.
Have most of them like reached out to you? Like, for example, you're going on the Gaga tour a couple years ago.
It's a combo, man. Like, I think it used to be more like that. Now, I don't really do that essentially much anymore because I kind of
have everything.
I kind of have like what I like, you know. Maybe I should. I don't know, but I think every once in a while I will. You know what I mean? I just got this new Sir amp. It's killer, man. And I reached out. I was like, man, because my friend, like one of my real good friends, is over there, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do Idol. I'm gonna use this for Idol because I think will better serve that. Like it'll be a better it'll be better than what I'm using for the show. You know what I'm saying? I think this will be a lot better actually. And he's like, yeah, of course, man. So I think there's those type of things that I'd still do. Like, you know, man, I'm about to do this show, and I think this would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
You know, because it has like this thing and this, and it'd be perfect for it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird thing though. Endorsements is a weird thing. Yeah. But it's great. I think it's great for the companies and great for the people playing. Yeah.
The best question of all time: how many guitars do you own?
At this point, man, I have probably like, I don't know, I'm in a range of like 30 or 40. You know, nothing too crazy, honestly.
That's crazy.
I mean, like, some people have like hundreds, man. Yeah. And I pretty much have kept it to where I play all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of just constantly doing this process of just slimming everything down. Yeah. No, there's guys that have so many, bro. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, man. Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple things I definitely want now, though. I'm kind of like switching gears. There's some like different things. I'm like, okay, I want some more weird stuff. Like, I want, like, I don't know, just more like kind of odd things, you know?
Yeah. In the music industry, man, it's always about things ever changing. It's never the same. You know, things are consistently moving around. What would you like to be next for you?
Right now, man, I'm working on my new band, Damaged Goods, with my homeboy Johnny.
Okay.
He plays bass with Gaga with us. And we're working on that really hard. And that's a different one. Like last year, at the beginning of the year, I started writing, pretty much just writing, you know. And by the end of the year, I written maybe about 40 or 45 songs, just like come down every day to write. And some of those ended up, you know, being starts for the Damaged Goods stuff. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna sing. Johnny, he's gonna write, he's gonna sing.
Yeah.
So it's like two lead singers. It's like punk rock, it's electronic, it's like pop. It's like kind of just a weird combination of all these things.
Definitely.
And so we've been working really hard on that. And then songwriting, man. I've been production, songwriting. I'm kind of at that every day, you know.
Oh, awesome.
Doing different sessions. And kind of waiting to see if we ever play live again in this world, you know. And if we do, you know, I'll be right back at it, you know, play with whoever.
Right.
But for now, I just wrapped the Mass thing. I'll do Idol, but after that, or kind of in the middle of it, man. Like that's the thing, man. I'm kind of doing it all at the same time most of the time, you know. Like, I mean, yeah. But I'm excited about the Damaged stuff. We're coming out in about 2 months. We'll have a new song out with a video.
Nice.
It's like kind of a mixture of a clothing line. It's like a clothing line of music and art, kind of all in one. So
yeah,
each drop we're gonna do like a clothing, a song, visual, you know.
Wow.
So
do you guys have like an Instagram already set up for your page?
We do, yeah. So we're at the beginning stage for sure, man, which is exciting, man.
Right.
I'm like, it'll kind of weird because we're sitting on so many songs. Like we have, you know, we could put out an album, almost 2 albums, but we're just kind of, I don't know, taking a breath and like saying, okay, what do we really want to do? You know, let's figure this out. And all of it is really, you know, I'm in love with it. I think it's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, man, I want to keep creating, man. I'm going to work on a solo record. I'm probably about 10 songs in on that. And then I'd like to do another Knives record, you know, and then just keep writing with everybody I can write with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's the thing. Just make music. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah, I saw this crazy thing recently. My friend posted it, and he's basically like, man, it's this artist who's maybe not a lot of people know. I mean, to me, he's successful. He's like, man, success is not just the numbers. He's like, man, I'm make music every day. It's like, who cares?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah, I'm creating, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember my dad told me that one time, man, I was on this tour, we were in a van, and the headliner was in a bus. He's like, man, you guys are playing the same venue. Like,
wow, perspective, right?
Okay, because you know me at the time, like, no, man, I gotta get there, man. Why am I not? And I'm like, oh, so it's true, man. You know, the biggest, most wealthy pop star in the world, we're pretty much doing the same thing at the same time. He's in the studio or she's in the studio. I'm in the studio. They're writing songs. I write. And then someone who's maybe not as played many places as me, I'm playing my guitar. He's playing his guitar.
Man,
everybody's just doing. They were doing the same things.
Yeah,
it's just different realms. You know what I mean? So I'm like super stoked, thankful, and like inspired to just keep playing music, making music, man, creating.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a musical sense, what would you say value means to you?
When I hear things that I feel like are like the feel and the like it really sounds and makes me feel a certain way, that's the value. You know what I mean? There's records I play and I'm like, man, I've heard this song at least 1,000 times and it makes me feel a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only way that I can kind of say something's good or bad. Because I think music is just depending on that person's perspective and their experience at the time, and then they made something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it resonates with me, then it has to do with a similarity in our experiences or our lives or something. You know, there's something there.
Right.
So I think that is really the value is how it resonates with me. If it's authentic, if it's pure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that I think that goes beyond any kind of technical. Obviously, I love technical stuff because I think that's part of my life too. You know what I mean? Just growing up,
bashing out.
Oh my God. But then there's things that I'm like, oh wow, man, I'll listen to this song forever because it just strikes me in a way. And it has nothing to do with, man, did you hear that chord? No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I've been listening to like forever, OK Computer was like one of my favorite records, right?
Okay.
But then I'm like, oh wow. What's it called? I just lost the name. The first record. I'm listening to that more than ever. And I'm like, man, I think I like this
more than
more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh, why is that? And like for the last like year, I've only been listening to that in terms of, you know, Radiohead. I only listened to that record. Like, there's a few songs like Fake Plastic Trees. There's like a few songs on there that I'm just like, man, dude, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of records and a lot of songs like that where you're constantly inspired, constantly like, wow, this is really something amazing to be a part of.
Yeah.
You know? Be
Definitely.
a part of a community. And I see my daughter enjoy songs and play me stuff. And I'm like, man, it's never, you know, and then my dad, it's like this, have this weird thing. Like, my dad will send us texts of these records these songs that he really loves, these clips of people playing. I'm like, wow, man, that's amazing too, you know? And it's just different eras and people's, how they respond to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Right.
It's an incredible thing to take in, you know?
Yeah. Does your son also play an instrument? Or
he's starting to play piano.
Okay.
And he's starting to, he plays games, man. So he's
gonna be a streamer.
Yeah, he's killer on that. He loves games. He loves music though. He loves like more electronic type stuff. And recently he's been getting into more heavier stuff. He loves the Doom soundtrack. So I'm
man.
Like, yeah, but he loves all kind of things, man. He's been teaching himself piano, which is crazy. He'll play me something. I'm like,
where'd you learn that?
Yeah.
YouTube Academy.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's funny, man, but it's true, man. It's a whole nother world,
right?
With YouTube, Instagram, and all those things. It's pretty cool to see, I think, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Right.
How cool is it?
Right.
Yeah.
What's your advice, man, for aspiring musicians, those that want to get in the industry? What are a couple of things that you'd like to share with them?
Oh man, I think the persistence, like I said, but also like just there's a stage where you cannot, where you should try to do everything you can. You know what I mean? Like, don't say no, man. Like, especially out here, you don't know who you're meeting. You don't know who can help you. If it's this session, go do it. I think you should do things for relationships. You know what I mean? Because that is really the core of a lengthy career, is relationships. Everything I ever had is just built on friendships.
That's good.
You know? And they're all pure friendships. None of them are like, oh man, he's going to help me. No, it's more like, I was here, we played, you know, I did a good job because I took it serious. And, you know, it's like, and then we became friends because, man, that's just be nice, you know? Be friendly, you know? I think that's really the core, man, for a lengthy career is friendships, man.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think some things I've learned recently that I wish I would have done, I would say, like, financially would be, like, really take a hard look at some, like, financial courses or classes. You know?
Yeah, for most musicians, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who is, like, he was telling me, he's like, man, I'm thinking about, like, helping, because he's killer musician, but then he realized, like, man, I don't, like, at the rate I'm going, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be able to, I'm not have nothing. Like, what am I doing? He totally changed his thing, and he's a musician, but he's, like, fully set up, figured out how to do his finance, and is good. He's good, you know. He's not like a lot of my peers and like me, like, we're, oh my God, I have to have another gig
exactly.
in like 6 months, I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? He's like, man, I can't do that anymore. And he kind of set himself up to where he's good, you know? And there's a bunch of guys that have done that I know. I'm like, man, they really should let younger musicians know about that, you know? Because I think it's important, man, because especially if you get a stretch of work, you should know how and what to do with that money, man.
Yeah.
I think it's important because that is going to affect so many different parts of your life. And you know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Music is weird in that there is some, like, weird pipe dreams there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is gonna last forever.
Yeah,
it may not, bro. You know what I mean? Like, have some sense. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I wish most schools would teach, man. I feel like everything's emphasized on being the musician and playing and performing, but you're gonna make money from what you're trying to do, what you're going to school for.
Yeah,
you know. So how are you gonna manage that?
That's it, man. It's so big, dude. I wish someone would have told me. I think I'll be in a much better place. You know, I'm good, but I'm like, I wish someone would have told me that.
Right.
Or like you said, would have taught, would have had some kind of, I don't know, course or somebody that's leading the way with that, because that is so important. Because if you have that, it gives you freedom to do, especially creative people. If you're always bound by that idea, like, oh my God, I have no money again. Or I have a lot of money, I don't have no money again. Or I have a lot, you know what I mean? Like that's a rough road, man. Like, but if you can figure out a way to manage it, that gives you freedom to, oh yeah, I'll take that, or I don't need to take that gig, or I can go do my own thing for a while and I can do this. It gives you creative freedom. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But the way the system is built up is, like you said, man, I can tell you how to play these changes. I can't tell you nothing else, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's tricky, man. I think that's for longevity in a career, is build real genuine friendships and, like, money management, man. Financial, those are the two.
Good. That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Tim, where can people find you? Social media.
They can find me at your local bar. No, they can find me probably outside now. It's not as fun. You can find me Instagram. It's Tim Stewart, I think.
Okay.
Then we have Damaged Goods Music.
Okay.
And TheBandKnives. All Instagram. And
are you on YouTube also?
I am on YouTube, but not like, I'm about to, like, I don't really, you know, I need to be on YouTube.
You should, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about that for like 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
No. I'm definitely we're working toward that for sure. That's another thing I'm, like, learning too. Like, man, this is a different medium. Man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Yeah, man. Social media is its own thing, man, for sure. We've been talking about that as well, you know, just trying to get things going and, you know, operate, because I feel like there was somebody said this quote the other day, which, I mean, now more than ever sounds so true. And it was like, if your business isn't online, it's not really a business.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Unless you're a household name that's been around forever, but even then
you can afford to do that.
Exactly.
But even then, it's true, man. Like, I agree, man. Like, we've been talking about it a lot. That's definitely the next stage for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, Tim Stewart, everybody, this is episode 43 with Tim Stewart. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming through and seeing you again, man.
Definitely, man.
So stay tuned for next week, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.